Parents, I was reading something from a guy called Demis Hassabis. He won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry last year, and he's the CEO of Google DeepMind in London. What was fascinating, he was trained at Cambridge, but what's fascinating is that he won the Nobel Prize in chemistry, but he's an AI scientist, a computer scientist. And he said, they asked him, what advice do you have for young people today in education? He said, I would make STEM a priority. I would make STEM a priority. And it brings a very interesting point. If you look at the next 10 to 15 years, like from now, the fields that are going to run everything are math and physics. Now, if you don't know, the math that runs AI is the same math that runs Einstein's theory of general relativity and physics. I repeat, the math that runs AI is the same math that runs physics. There was a time where mathematicians and physicists were not two separate people. Isaac Newton, Leonard Euler, Carl Friedrich Gauss, Daniel Bernoulli, I can go on and on. The greatest mathematicians and scientists were not fragmented in their approach to learning. They kept it as one. That's part of what Counting the Calculus is trying to do. So for example, when I teach calculus to students, I have to teach them physics at the same time, because it doesn't make sense to talk about gravity and not to talk about the calculus. The reason Isaac Newton discovered, okay, let's pause. The reason Newton did his work in the calculus was because of gravity in physics. So why would we teach gravity and not teach calculus? We need to teach both. I was talking to someone today and something hit me. One of the reasons students struggle in math and science is because of the system of education in math and science that is used. The system that is supposed to help them become good is actually going to make them bad, because the system is fragmented. What is the solution? Bring it back together. Math and physics need to be hanging out all the time again. Chemistry and physics and math need to be hanging out all the time. What that means is students should not be saying, oh, I'm going to my physics class down the hall. I don't need to talk to my math teacher till next week when I have math. No. Your math and your physics should, like, people should be seeing math and physics teachers hanging out and talking, because math explains the concepts in physics. Okay, let me give you one example of what success looks like in a school that is doing math and science well. Imagine if a teacher gives students homework in a physics class, and then it's Friday, they go home, they come back on the weekend. And then the students say to the teacher, over the weekend, I was trying to do the homework you gave me in physics, and I realized that I was having some challenges. So I went to the library and borrowed a calculus textbook. And I found out that the equations I needed to do the physics problem were in the calculus textbook. That's success. When the student realizes that the problems they're trying to solve sometimes will not be found in the field that they're studying at the moment, but that it's found in another field, that's success. AI can give us a chance to use that well. Here's what I mean. Google made modern education obsolete in 1998, but people haven't realized, and I hope they realize now. What I mean by that is that before Google came, you had one book for math for 4th grade. You didn't have access to the one for 5th grade. You didn't have access to the one for 3rd grade most of the time. So what that meant is that if you were struggling on a topic, or if you were trying to look ahead, you couldn't do that because you didn't have access to all the books. Google comes on September 4th of 1998, and that changes things. But again, we kept using the same education system of the 1920s and the 1800s. One teacher, everybody has to follow the same pace. That's not the ideal way to learn, but let's just leave that there for a second. The internet came, Google came, Khan Academy came, different tools came, and we have people still allowing their learning pace to be judged by some arbitrary standards. Now AI has come. And the way I put it is, Google made modern education expired when Google came, and now AI is going to make the expired modern education actually toxic. Let me repeat. Modern education expired when Google came, and now AI is going to make modern education toxic. when some drugs expire, you can still take them and be okay. They expired. You shouldn't take expired drugs. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying you can take it and it's still okay. But then they become toxic at a certain point. Same thing with milk. Same thing with certain things we buy. They expire and then they get toxic. Modern education is in the realm of toxicity right now. Let me explain what I mean. Why should you take a year to learn algebra? Why should you take a year to learn geometry? Who determines the speed or the rate at which you should learn it? What happens when I tell you that all of the internet and Google has been tokenized in a sense, all of the knowledge, right, is embedded in AI so that your child now has access to every textbook, right, that is available out there, at least to learn anything they want to learn at the pace they want to learn it. So why are they still taking a year to learn things that they might be passionate about at the moment? There are topics that I learned about on a Saturday morning, and by Saturday night, I was already like diving in the topic to the point where people would think, wow, did you get a master's in that topic? No, I just was very passionate about it. I call it the law of relevance. When you find that a child loves learning, give them all the tools to flourish to the max on that topic. We have the internet, we have Google, and now we have AI, and we're still moving at the pace. Literally, we're moving at this pace of, okay, it's 9th grade. Let's do 9th grade work. Like, guys, it's 2025. All of the knowledge is there. The reason why students struggle sometimes is because they don't see the relevance. Relevance is the problem. Relevance is the problem. It's not their ability to reason. It's not their ability to comprehend. They just don't care. Students just don't care. So we need to show them why they should care. And now some of them, there's legitimate disabilities, don't get me wrong. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of students that just don't care. If you get them to care, they're going to be doing calculus in 10th grade for fun. Let's get students to care. And there, my friends, is the beginning of our podcast, Education and Parenting in the AI Revolution. I'm excited to help children flourish to the max in the AI age. Subscribe for more, and welcome to Living Sensibly with Amos Tarfa and Education and Parenting in the AI age, where we're going to talk about how we can help every child flourish and become who they were created to be. Thanks for watching. Please give your child the best education possible by looking at the tools available, looking at their vision for life, helping them get mentors, and joining the movement. Have a blessed day and take care.